What's going on, everyone? My name is Seth, and today I am super excited because, as you can see to my side here, I've got a very large box from Thomann. Now, for those of you who might not have heard of Thomann before, they are actually a German retailer, and from my understanding, I think they're one of the biggest musical instrument and musical equipment retailers in all of Europe. But what's more interesting for me and more pertinent to this video is the fact that inside this box are two guitars from Harley Benton, which is actually Thomann's house brand of guitars. Now, I've heard a lot of good things about Harley Benton over the years. They're very affordable guitars, but they have a reputation for being very good quality for their price, which is something I think a lot of people out there would be interested in, and I'm definitely interested in myself. But up until today, I've never had an opportunity to actually play a Harley Benton guitar or see one in person myself. So yeah, I'm super excited to finally get the opportunity to try one of these. I just want to point out that I did buy these guitars with my own money, so this isn't a sponsored video. These guitars weren't sent to me for free or anything like that. I did buy these myself, so there's no inherent biases or anything like that in this video. But yeah, I feel like I've talked enough at this point. Let's get this box open and check out these guitars. Two quick side notes before getting started. One, I'm aware the box looks like it's upside down, but it looks like UPS and Customs decided to start the unboxing without me, so I was kind of worried about flipping this box over to its other side. And point number two, this chair is super noisy, so if you hear any weird clicks and or noises, it is probably the chair, and I apologize. Okay, so my camera started freaking out for a second, so sorry if there was a weird cut in there somewhere, but this is it. So this is guitar number one, which is, if you didn't know, this is the Agufish signature guitar that Hunter Engel designed with Harley Benton. If you're not familiar with Hunter, he's got a channel, again, that goes by the name of Agufish, and I've been a big fan of his channel for a long time. This is actually the second run of guitars that he's designed with Harley Benton, and I unfortunately missed out on that first run, which had kind of a similar vibe to this, but man, this just looks absolutely incredible with that ash top, purple sandblasted finish. Just, oh my God. I hope I don't sound like I'm being like just generic over-exaggerating YouTuber guy, but this is really impressive, and I'm not exaggerating at all. This is very, very impressive. Got a roasted maple neck. I don't know how to pronounce the body wood. I'll probably flash that up on screen somewhere, and you guys can tell me how you're supposed to pronounce it. But yeah, first impression of guitar number one, this looks absolutely incredible. Now, this is the standard scale or shorter scale version, so I think this is a 25-inch scale guitar. Rather than the 25.5 or Gibson's 24 3/4. But God, I cannot get over how good this looks. This looks absolutely incredible. Wow, okay, I'm gonna put this down and we are going to unbox guitar number two, which, spoiler alert, is going to look very similar to this one, but I'll explain in just a moment. All right, so now that they are both out of the box, as you can see, yes, these guitars are very similar, but there is one key difference between them. And that is that the one that I'm holding, the second one that I unboxed, is actually a baritone guitar. So this guitar has a 28-inch scale, and I've actually never owned a guitar with this long of a scale before, so there's definitely probably gonna be a bit of a learning curve there, but man, this just looks so awesome. And then putting the two side by side like this, you can see that even though they're both swamp ash tops, they look very different. Like this one has a much wider grain pattern than this one does. And I remember that being a thing that Hunter was talking about when he announced these guitars and in the lead up to their release, was that The really cool thing about swamp ash tops is that no two pieces of ash ever look exactly the same. So every single one of these is going to be completely unique from the one that came before and after it. And I think that's super awesome, but I feel like I've talked enough at this point, and there's been a lot of me fumbling around with boxes and things. So I'm gonna get these tuned up and start strumming around on them a little bit and let you guys hear what they sound like from my first time plugging into them. And when we come back, I'm gonna share my overall first impressions of these guitars after I've had a couple minutes to really look them over. So without further ado, let's get to those sound clips. All right, so today is a new day, as you could probably tell, but it's time for me to go over my initial thoughts and my first impressions on these two guitars. If it wasn't obvious enough from the unboxing portion, I personally think these guitars look absolutely great, and there's a lot of cool specs here on a guitar under $600 aside from very nice looking swamp ash tops. Locking tuners, stainless steel frets, and roasted maple necks are probably some of my favorite features you find on more modern guitars, so it's really cool to see them on these guitars, A, because they're more affordable guitars, and B, because they're single cuts, and you don't really see these specs on single cuts all that often, even today. Speaking of frets and the necks, both of those things are done really well on these two guitars. The fret edges are nice and smooth, so there's no sharp edges to worry about, and I think the neck profile on both of these guitars is very comfortable. If I had to try to describe the neck profile, I'd say it's very similar to my EC1000, but these necks feel just a bit bigger than the EC1000. The action does feel a bit high on the short scale at least, and I've got to be honest, I think both of these guitars need a restringing and a setup because the strings that came on these guitars are very rough feeling, at least to me. Now, Thoman's website lists these as being D'Addario strings, but I play D'Addario strings and these do not have the multicolored ball ends that D'Addarios have, so I'm not sure what's on here, but I've also been having some slight tuning stability issues with these guitars, and I'm thinking it's the strings. I don't really want to blame the hardware yet, but time will tell, especially after I get these restrung. Going back to playability for just a bit longer, I was pretty surprised to find out that the 28-inch scale of the baritone actually didn't take me very long to get used to, especially since I have fairly small hands. Even still, I've had so much fun playing the baritone, and strumming a big chord with all 6 strings just feels absolutely unreal on this. I do have to admit though, at this point I am still very much so falling into the trap of mostly playing just low-tuned caveman-style chugs on the baritone just because honestly the novelty of finally having access to drop G tuning has yet to wear off. That said, I know baritones are actually really versatile, so I'm actually pretty excited to be able to finally experiment with one to just see all the other things it can do outside of those low-tune chugs. But even though experimentation is fun, I do have to admit that low-tune chugs do make my brain release a lot of serotonin, and mental health is important. I was also pleasantly surprised at how good the pickups in these guitars sound, and I actually don't really feel any need to change them. They're definitely medium output, so they're not too hot, but they've got just a little bit of something to give the front end of your amp or amp modeler just a bit of a push. I definitely want to spend some more time trying to dial in tones specifically for the baritone, just because honestly most of the tones that I've dialed in with my Agufish have been using tunings considerably higher than A standard or drop G. As far as the construction quality goes, I would say that these guitars are solid for the most part, but there are a few things I noticed after looking them over a little longer. On the shorter scale guitar, there's a spot where it looks like there's a bit of the colored finish missing right next to the binding, and there's also another spot where there's a bit of a smudge on the binding itself. Now, originally I thought this was just dirty, so I tried to clean it off, but unfortunately it seems like whatever the smudge is actually underneath the clear coat. For the baritone, the only thing I've noticed so far is that the bushings for the bridge and the tailpiece are not completely flush with the body. I've never had this on another guitar before, so I don't know if this is something I could easily fix myself, but if someone out there watching this has experience dealing with this, feel free to share in the comments. Now, obviously the flaws are a little bit disappointing, but I feel like I'm more, at least somewhat willing to forgive them here just because these are more affordable guitars, and I don't really expect affordable guitars to be absolutely perfect in every way. Overall, I would say that this first experience with Thoman and Harley Benton guitars has been a good one, even though the guitars themselves were a bit less than perfect. I do plan on making a more comprehensive review of these once I've spent some more time with them, so don't forget to subscribe if you would be interested in seeing those videos whenever they go live. Otherwise, that's pretty much all I have to say for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I always do appreciate it. Let me know what you think about these guitars in the comments down below, and don't forget to hit the like button if you enjoyed this video. Take care of yourselves, and hopefully I'll see you guys next time.